Yo guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Alviso. And right off the bat, sorry for the voice. Got sick, recovering. You got to deal with my nasally drone now. But we are back with another weekly Alviso criterium and some sketch on course. Look at this. They're like, I don't know, adding utilities or something. So although it's recently repaved, still a little bit terrifying, especially through this section. So look out for them cones. Look out for those carbon wheel destroying potholes. And there's an attack going off the front right now through what is uncharacteristically a tailwind section. It's a reverse wind from the normal Alviso. We get weird wind in the wintertime through Alviso. But anyway, I'm gonna hang tight, be patient here, because I have two SJBC riders in front of me. These blue kits. They both missed it, so I'm thinking, oh, maybe I can get a free ride. And it starts off pretty good here. You can see I'm getting a good draft. I'm on the left side. You notice I'm staggered a little bit. That's because of the right to left crosswind. Getting a really good draft right here. And I'm thinking, okay, cool. They're going to bring this back. I'm going to get a freebie because if the team misses it, they generally have an obligation to bring it back or risk, coming into a race with teammates, and missing a breakaway is never a good thing. But they kind of start slowing it down right here, and Blaine gets a little impatient. He jumps across, and I'm a little bit late to the party here, but I also jump across. I was ideally trying to get into Blaine's draft here. It doesn't work out, but I have to jump across to this one because it didn't look like SJBC had the firepower to bring that back with those two riders. So I also jump across here into a headwind, less than ideal, but this is a necessary effort. And I join this group of 4 or 5 or so. We quickly fall into a pretty smooth rotation, but it doesn't last long. Blaine, within like a half a lap, gives it a rip here. God, he's so fit right now. I cannot let him get away, even with 14 kilometers to go. And I'm perfectly positioned to respond to it. So that's what I do. Make another effort here, and kind of sluggish to get back onto his wheel. I just didn't really want to burn like over 1,000 watts this early into the race, to be honest. But if you don't make that spike in power, then you spend more time out of the draft. So you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Anyway, I do end up getting back onto his wheel, which coincides with this tailwind section, which provides a really good opportunity just to keep on the pressure, right? Because we were a group of, 5 or 6, and now we're a solid group of 3. So I just put my head down, commit, just continue turning over the pedals, piling on the pressure, keeping the speed high. If nothing else, to punish the people who didn't jump across to Blaine's initial move. And are able to shake off everybody except for Donnie here in the pink, who has solo bridged back across to us. So now it's down to these 4 right here. This is the breakaway of 4. And again, back into rotation. And again, Blaine not happy bringing me along, bringing a sprinter along. Who can blame him? I wouldn't want a sprinter in this group either. So he's going to give it another stomp here. And I was even better positioned than before because now I know what he's up to. I know how fit he is. He's my training buddy after all. So I was able to quickly jump into his draft without the sluggishness and kind of the delay like I was the first time. So I'm trying to save as much energy as possible because, guys, at this point in the race, it's my goal just to keep things together until 200 meters to go. I would be more than happy to come to 200 meters from a smaller group. That's kind of my jam. That's how I win races. So that's my aim right now. Let's see how it works out. All right, now here's the game as a sprinter in this small group. You guys, if you're ever in this position where you are confident in your ability to win from a smaller group in a bike race like this, the whole game is like just play nice and just see if you can work together. So I'm taking pulls, I'm going through rotation, but when I see this right here, this is again Blaine. When I see him opening this gap, this tells me one thing and one thing only, that he's going to give it another rip, because this is like the sprinter's gap. It's not particularly fast. You fall back. He even looked back like he knows I'm going to be following him, and he gives it another rip. See how he carries a bunch of speed past these front riders? Oh, by the way, we got a 5th rider. That's another solo rider bridged across, because at this point, the cat and mouse games have already begun, even though it's 9 kilometers to go. Solo rider was able to bridge across, so now we're 5. And this is the game, right? Like, I am trying to keep things together and save as much energy in the process as possible. These other riders are trying to drop me. And it's like it's a game of cat and mouse. I mean, that's the reason we call it that. So I'm following these attacks. I see Blaine dropping back. I know what he's up to. I'm not going to get caught by surprise. And again, I look back. I see Donnie and that other solo rider. They both missed it. So this is another good opportunity for me just to stay on the pressure. I'm not going crazy here, but I'm just going to continue on the pressure because, look, it's a lot easier for me in this position to try to outwit 2 other riders. Only have to pay attention to 2 other riders who are actively trying to drop me instead of 4 other riders who are actively trying to drop me as the sprinter in this group. So that's the reason I can justify this effort, especially as we come into the tailwind section. Yeah, but again, it doesn't quite work. Donnie makes it across, dropping that other solo rider. So back to this group of 4. Now this new guy in the red. Sorry I don't know your name, but new guy in the red jersey. Kind of off the front for a little bit. I see Blaine and Donnie behind looking around. Look at the gap in my rear camera. So I'm like, okay, why not give it just a little bit of an effort here? And then I think better of it. I kind of sit up, and this prompts a doozy from Blaine. And this is the consequence of being out of position. Remember the ones before, guys, when I was behind him? I was doing less than 1,000 watts right into the draft. I had to do like up over 1,200, maybe even 1,300 watts. Those are sprint numbers. You can only do a handful of those in a race. Yeah, this is a great move by Blaine for that reason. Caught everyone by surprise. I really should have been paying closer attention to him like I was those first couple of attacks, because now I'm forced to bring this back, right? I could like elbow flick through, but nobody's going to do anything. Like, I already know that. It's no secret, guys. Like, they know I'm a sprinter. I make these public videos. My aim at this point is to, like I said, keep it together, wait until 200 meters to go. They know that is my primary objective, so they're going to force me to do the chasing. They're great bike racers. Now, Donnie could have put in a doozy of a counterattack right there, because I just had to close it down to Blaine. If Donnie came over the top super hard right there, that might have been a problem. I think if he got a running start at us, that would have made a big difference. He would have carried that speed. Like Blaine's doing right now with round number 2, Donnie's going to shut this one down for me. I think in this situation, Donnie could have just looked at me and elbow flicked and been like, better chase that back, buddy. What are you going to do, bro? And honestly, I would have begrudgingly chased it back. Now, I would have done it trying to drop both Donnie and this rider behind in the red, who, by the way, has quietly been kind of sitting back here. Now, more on him a little bit later. But for now, we're all back together, and now we are going to have a comically slow final lap. This must be like an Alviso record, guys. Look at how slow we are going, coming through 1 lap to go. This has got to be, 12, 13 miles an hour. Like, we're going so slow, in fact, that single rider who was dropped earlier ended up catching back on, which, by the way, guys, don't ever give up. Like, especially if there's a breakaway off the front, they will often play games like this and give back minutes. Like, I think we had over a minute of a gap, and a crit is crazy. And we gave it all back. This solo rider ended up coming back on, and that's where we're going to pick things up. About a half a lap to go. I am looking, as you can tell from the kind of jarring fast-forward camera there, I'm looking back more than I am forward, essentially, because I'm just waiting for that counterattack. I'm way too close to the front, but it's too late at this point to shuffle back. Positions are kind of locked in. We're 1,300 meters to go, and I'm just waiting for that attack because I know, again, these riders don't want to bring a sprinter to 200 meters to go. And here comes Blaine on the left. What a well-timed attack. I'm out of position. He came with that element of surprise through the tailwind section. What a doozy. And now let's talk about this rider in the red behind me. Getting such a good draft. I'm being played here, guys. Like, this is such a good one, too, because he is locked into my draft, just like I've been locked into Blaine's draft this entire time. But I'm forced to do this big, sustained effort to bring him back here inside of 1 kilometer to go. And I get there, but this hurts so bad. I'm already 170 beats per minute. And don't forget, this is a headwind finish. Now, this is normally a tailwind finish. How do we approach a headwind sprint finish compared to the normal tailwind sprint finish? Well, you have to be so patient. With the tailwind, you can go really early, and since the speeds are so much higher, it's really hard to close down a gap. If you can establish a quick gap at a really high rate of speed, 38, 40, sometimes even 42 miles an hour out here, it's really hard to close down even like a half a bike length. But the opposite is true in the headwind. With the headwind, I mean, you could be leading with 50 meters to go, 40 meters to go, and you can still lose the race because the drafting is so much more consequential. So anyway, I'm keeping that in mind. Now, Donnie goes super early. 250 meters to go in this headwind is way too early. Now, this rider in the red, who I was really worried about, he also goes way too early. 200 meters is generally the distance to go, but not in this stiff of a headwind. And I look at the draft I'm getting here. I mean, the most important draft is with 100 meters to go, and that's what I'm getting. So I'm able to poke my nose out in the wind just in the nick of time to pull down the W. It wasn't because of my strength. Trust me, guys. It was just because of the timing. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you like this content, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.